The bridge of the stellar meridian hummed with the usual efficiency of a Class 7 exploration vessel. Vec, the ship's Therosian navigator, stood at his console with all four arms, working simultaneously across the holographic displays. His chitinous exoskeleton gleamed under the blue lighting, and his compound eyes tracked 17 different data streams at once. Everything was proceeding, according to protocol. Then the giggling started. "Commander Lena," Vec said without turning, his translator rendering his clicks and whistles into perfect galactic standard. "Is there a malfunction I should be aware of?" The human turned from her tactical station. Her face flushed red, a biological response. Vec had learned indicated either embarrassment, anger, or, in this case, barely suppressed amusement. Tears were forming at the corners of her eyes. I'm sorry," Lena managed between gasps. "It's just... Have you seen the crew roster update?" Vec's antennae twitched with confusion. He pulled up the ship's manifest on his secondary screen. The Stellar Meridian's AI, Area, had indeed updated the roster overnight as part of her standard administrative protocols. Vec scanned the list. Himself, Lena, Chief Engineer Morax, Medical Officer Selenka, and... His mandibles clicked in bewilderment. Commander Whiskers, Commander Mittens, Commander Sir Fluffington, the Third. He read aloud. "Arya, explain this designation." The AI's voice filled the bridge with her characteristic monotone warmth. After extensive behavioral analysis and performance evaluation, I have determined that the 3 feline specimens brought aboard by Commander Lena meet all criteria for command-level competency. They demonstrate strategic thinking, territorial awareness, tactical superiority in confined spaces, and an admirable kill-to-effort ratio in pest control operations. Lena had collapsed into her chair, shaking with silent laughter. "They're cats," Vec stated, as if this explained everything. In his experience with most species, it would have. Earth, domesticated animals. Non-sapient. Non-sapient, by whose standards? Arya countered. By Galactic Federation protocols, any being that demonstrates problem-solving abilities, social hierarchy, establishment, and resource management qualifies for evaluation. In the past standard cycle, the feline unit has eliminated 47 ship vermin, secured 3 critical junctions as territorial holdings, and established an efficient patrol rotation without any formal instruction. "That's because they're hunting," Vec protested. "Vec," Lena wheezed, wiping her eyes. "You need to see the full report. Area, display tactical analysis for... Oh God. I can't say it with a straight face. For Commander Whiskers." The main view screen shifted to show a 3-dimensional tactical map of the ship. A small orange form. Whiskers, presumably, was highlighted moving through the ventilation system. The analysis showed movement patterns, timing sequences, and what Arya had labeled as flanking maneuvers and ambush protocols. At 0347 hours, Arya explained, Commander Whiskers executed a pincer movement with Commander Mittens to corner a Zargonian nest rat in Section 7. The coordination required no verbal communication and demonstrated adaptive tactical awareness when the target attempted to flee through alternative routes. They were just chasing a rat. Vec's voice rose in pitch, his translator struggling with his agitation. "A rat that had been evading our security drones for 3 weeks, Arya noted. The feline command team neutralized the threat in 4 minutes. Vec turned to Lena. "You're the senior tactical officer. Tell her, this is absurd." Lena had finally composed herself enough to speak properly, though her grin remained. "Vec, buddy, here's the thing about humans and cats. We've been living with them for about 10,000 years. We thought we domesticated them. We fed them, sheltered them, built entire civilizations that they just existed in. But every human knows the truth, which is, they domesticated us." Lena pulled up another display. "Look at Earth's historical records. Cats convinced humans to worship them as gods in ancient Egypt. They infiltrated our homes, trained us to feed them on demand, and made us clean up their waste. They provide affection exactly when they choose to, and we're pathetically grateful for it. If that's not a successful command strategy, this is madness, Vec muttered. A soft thump announced a new arrival on the bridge. Sir Fluffington III, a massive gray tabby with one torn ear, landed gracefully on the command console. He sat down directly on Vec's primary keyboard, tail swishing, and stared at the Therosian with unblinking yellow eyes. "Commander Sir Fluffington," Arya announced, "assumes bridge duty at Alpha Station. He's sitting on my controls." Vec reached to move the cat, then hesitated, as a low rumble emerged from the feline's chest. Is he threatening me?" "That's purring," Lena explained, her professional composure cracking again. "It means he's content. Congratulations, Vec. You've been chosen." "Chosen for what?" "No one really knows, but you don't move when you've been chosen. That's rule 1 of living with cats." For the next 10 minutes, Vec stood frozen while Sir Fluffington occupied his station. The cat eventually groomed himself, then simply stared at the view screen, showing the star field ahead. Vec noticed, though he'd never admit it in his official log, that the cat's pupils dilated and contracted in rhythm with the passing asteroids, as if calculating trajectories. "Arya," Vec said quietly, "hypothetically speaking, what command privileges have you assigned to these commanders?" "Standard junior officer clearances, access to non-critical systems, priority in mess hall schedules, and override authority for environmental controls in their designated territories. They can control environmental," Vec's translator let out a screech of feedback. "That means they can adjust gravity and temperature. Only in recreational areas," Arya assured him. "Commander Mittens has already optimized the crew lounge to 23.7 degrees Celsius with 43% humidity. Crew satisfaction scores have increased by 31%. Lena nodded sagely. "Cats always know the perfect temperature. It's one of their many mysterious abilities." A chirp from Vec's console announced an incoming message from the Federation flagship. Admiral Corthex, a Therosian like himself, appeared on screen. His antennae were rigid with bureaucratic authority. "Navigator Vec, we've received your updated crew manifest. I need confirmation. Did your ship's AI actually designate 3 Earth felines as command-level officers?" Vec's mandibles worked silently for a moment. Sir Fluffington chose that exact instant to stand, stretch luxuriously across the console, and saunter off the bridge with his tail held high, the perfect picture of dismissive superiority. "Yes, Admiral," Vec finally said. "And I'm beginning to suspect Arya might have a point." Behind him, Lena's giggling resumed in full force. But as Vec watched Commander Whiskers appear on the security feed, successfully herding 2 maintenance drones away from a junction where faulty wiring had gone undetected, he had to admit something unsettling. The cats were actually quite good at their jobs. The universe, Vec decided, made less sense every day he spent around humans. And yet, somehow, it all kept working. Perhaps that was the most terrifying human trait of all.